Former President Donald Trump pleading not guilty to charges revised just last week by the special counsel in the 2020 election subversion case. That's a federal case here in Washington, D.C. CNN's Caitlin Polans is here. Caitlin, you just got a copy of the new filing.
Yeah, it's a one-page filing, but there it has Donald Trump's big, black, bold signature on it, signing it, saying, I'm pleading not guilty. And also, when there's a hearing this coming week, the first hearing that we've had since this case has been paused, since it went to the Supreme Court, they gave him some presidential immunity. He doesn't want to be there in person. And so this paperwork serves as that. It's an important moment, though, Jake, because this is an indictment, and it went through a grand jury. Again, it's the same 4 charges, but he does have to enter a pleading, and he's saying, I plead not guilty. The other reason that that is important is that when you get a not guilty plea, things head toward a trial, and it's a reminder that that's where we are in this case. It's back in the trial court, and Judge Tanya Chutkan in the trial court is going to be moving things along toward a trial, especially now that she has this waiver of appearance and entry of a not guilty plea in this one-page filing from Donald Trump.
All right, Caitlin Polans with the breaking news. Thanks so much. Let's bring in CNN senior legal analyst Elie Honig and defense attorney Bill Brennan, who once represented Trump's payroll corporation. Elie, remind us what changed between the original indictment and this one, and why would Trump be pleading not guilty right now as opposed to in person?
So, Jake, this is essentially a revised, slimmed down version of Jack Smith's original January 6th indictment in order to accommodate and adjust for the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. What Jack Smith did was take his original indictment, which was 45 pages, file a new indictment last week, which is now 36 pages, where he took out the pieces of information that of course, specifically said are covered by immunity, including, for example, Donald Trump's dealings with the Justice Department. Those are out of this new indictment. There are some other minor adjustments, but essentially this is Jack Smith's effort to slim down his own case to enable it to go forward. As for why today, this is a piece of paper that a defendant like Donald Trump files so that he doesn't have to physically appear in court on Thursday. He essentially says, I've seen the indictment and I've authorized my attorneys to enter a not guilty plea for me when they're in court on Thursday.
And Bill, are you surprised that Mr. Trump does not plan to be there in person as he has for other legal skirmishes?
No, Jake, I'm not, because, the timing now, it's post-Labor Day, it's game on for the campaign for the presidency. And it really is not uncommon to waive a defendant's appearance in an arraignment. But as Elie and Caitlin said, it's an important step in the proceeding because, well, when the arraignment happens and that plea is entered, it starts clocks ticking. There's a typical 70-day till trial rule, but that often gets changed when it's a complex case or, there's a need for a continuance on either or both sides. So I don't think it's surprising. It's certainly not surprising that he pled not guilty. He's pled not guilty in this case and all the cases from the beginning. But as Elie said, this superseding indictment is a bit of a leaner, meaner document. It is an attempt by Jack Smith to excise all of the verbiage and counts that related to the defendant's activities as president, because as we know, the United States Supreme Court gave a wide-ranging immunity opinion this year. So we'll see if it holds up.
And Elie, in a separate case, a federal judge denied former President Trump's request to move the New York hush money case into federal court, finding that there's nothing in the Supreme Court's immunity ruling that alters his view of the facts that the payments were, quote, private, unofficial acts. Can you explain this?
Yeah, Jake. So this is one of 2 ways that Donald Trump is trying to postpone his sentencing in the Manhattan hush money case, which has long been scheduled for September 18th, so 2 weeks from now. One of the things Trump was trying to do was get the federal courts to take his case because he's saying, well, we have this new Supreme Court immunity case. I want to make an immunity defense to the hush money case because a little bit of the evidence in that case had to do with when Donald Trump was president. But now a federal court at the moment is saying, no, you can't bring that case over here. But Trump's also trying another way to sidetrack his sentencing. He's asking Judge Merchan in the Manhattan case, he's saying, I want you to throw out the verdict because of the immunity. I get to appeal before you sentence me. And the DA has said, we're fine either way. So, Jake, there's a pretty good chance, an chance that Trump manages to wriggle out of that September 18th sentencing date on the hush money case.
All right, Ellie Honig and Bill Brennan joining us for the breaking news. Thanks to both of you. Appreciate it.